Hey friends, Coach Tom here, iplaytennis.com. This is lesson 3 of our beginner return series. We've talked a little bit about kind of how to hit that return in lesson 1, a couple of things that you need to know, how to use your feet, turn, step, all those good things in lesson 2. We've talked about neutralizing your opponent, right? And now we've kind of got that idea of what do we do with those serves? How can we take an advantage of those serves that land so short in the box? They're just kind of these weak little marshmallow bloopers. What can we do to actually take advantage of those? Now, before we get to that, remember that as your level progresses, the power that comes behind those serves towards you, that's going to actually progress as well. That's going to get bigger. People are going to have bigger, more powerful serves, as well as more accurate serves. And so you're going to have to know how to deal with that. So in the drill, Emily's going to hit that ball a little bit harder. She's going to put a little bit more pace on that. And I'm going to have to learn, again, kind of we talked about it in lesson 2 as well, I'm going to have to learn to shorten up my swing and really use my legs to drive that ball, okay? And what you'll notice in a lot of that is that I actually drive with my legs and really exaggerate that forwards motion towards where I want that ball to go. Okay, so if you're playing those stronger players with the bigger serves, think more about legs than you do about anything else. It's not just standing there. You don't just get to stand there and slap at the ball. That's not going to work. You have to turn and use your legs to kind of support your base and support that shot and support that ball back towards where you want it to go. All right, you guys, I'm out here with Emily again. We're going to give you the drill for this. Now, she's going to do the same thing we did in lesson 1, but she's going to speed up the pace a little bit, try to hit that ball a little bit harder so that I can work on kind of reacting to that quicker, more powerful serve. Okay, you guys, so you can see it's all about legs and movement and a really short swing right there. That's what I want you guys to practice. Once you've hit a few, switch with your partner. So I'll switch, I'll let Emily hit returns while I hit serves. Now, the really nice thing about most recreational players, not you guys, because you guys have watched the videos on power, you know what you're doing, we've kind of talked about this, right? We're together on this. But most other recreational players, they have these big, huge serves, right? The big first serve that's 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and they get it 3 out of 10 times. Then their second serve is this tiny little bloop of a nothing that just sits in the middle of the court, right? So first of all, don't be that player. Don't be the guy that blasts away 100-mile-an-hour first serve, makes it 3 out of 10 times and thinks he's awesome, and then bloops in this little second serve that really is nothing at all, okay? Slow down that first serve, make more of those first serves, get that serving percentage up, right? Don't worry about the power. But as the returner, if you guys see those second serves, it's a really great chance for you to take advantage, right? Now remember, we talked about this in lesson 2. The first job is to neutralize. So if you're taking swipes at these little soft serves and you're missing them, that's not the point. We're not so concerned with winning points that unforced errors are okay. Unforced errors are not okay. So think first, neutralize your opponent. If you're doing well with that, that's successful, then we can start talking about taking advantage of those softer and weaker second serves. Now, in order to take advantage of these serves, the biggest thing I don't want you guys to do, and the biggest thing I see, the most frequent thing I see, is that players try to just blast away. They think power is the answer, right? So somebody gives me a soft, weak second serve, and I think I've just got to hit it harder and really just crack that ball to win that point. But the problem is it's really hard to create that power off of this nothing serve, right? It's something that's not very comfortable. Until you learn mastery of topspin, it's not very easy, right? So adding power to a weak second serve is not the answer. That's not what I want to see you guys do. You're going to end up, again, missing more of those shots than you make. Instead, what I want you to think about is how to reposition your opponent, right? We talked about in lesson 2 the idea of neutralizing that person and kind of keeping them at least neutral and not allowing them to step in. Now, if we can get them to actually step back, or if we can get them to kind of reach out and lunge and be off balance and in trouble, then we've done a nice job with our return and we can take advantage of that next shot. So if I hit a good return, I get my opponent kind of off balance and out of position. Now I've got some control. I can actually move in, maybe get a volley, maybe get a short ball, something that's going to give me control of that point. But it starts again with hitting that good high deep return that pushes them a little bit off balance.
Okay, so again, the technical parts, remember we've talked about this a bunch of times now. Turn, step, and swing. Make sure that you guys are using your legs to drive that ball. But the big thing, you guys, make sure that you're using what you have to your advantage. Again, power is not it necessarily. It can be if you're making 8 out of 10, but if you're not, use aim, use variety. Do these things that can kind of keep your opponent guessing and give you that advantage. If I hit one ball deep into the back corner, and my opponent has to back up 6 feet behind the baseline, and I hit my next return short, and they've got to run inside the service line, and then I hit the next one over to the other side of the court. You see what I'm saying? We're keeping that person guessing by using aim, control, variety, making them move and repositioning them, and earning ourselves an advantage by having them out of position and off balance, rather than just taking a single swipe at the ball and hoping that it goes in at a 90-mile-an-hour forehand. Now do remember that this ball is probably going to come back, so you guys do need to reposition. We've talked about this in some of these other videos, the idea of integrated recovery, and it's the same thing here. If I'm back hitting a return, right? I hit that return, I get turned, I step, I swing, I get that ball deep, and I've got my opponent off balance. I need to actually recover and get into the court, right? If I see that that person's way back behind the baseline and in trouble, I might sneak in a little bit, right? Got to get back to the middle of the court. I got to be ready for that next shot. But make sure you guys aren't hitting these returns and then just standing there wondering what's happening next. You know what's happening next. They're going to hit that ball back, and you've got to be ready to play. Okay? So again, neutralize first, then worry about how you take advantage, and take advantage by using placement, variety, aim, all that good stuff that you can do, that you can control and be successful with. Cracking 3 forehand winners with 80-mile-an-hour, 90-mile-an-hour pace and sending the other 7 of them over the fence, that's not going to do us a whole lot of good. So really, you guys resist the urge to hit those balls with a lot of power. Okay, so we're going to go back out. We're going to do a drill. This one, I've got my partner on the baseline hitting serves, and really what we're working on here, and this is kind of a subjective thing, but be honest with each other when you guys are doing this. My partner's going to hit the serve, I'm going to hit the return, and then she's going to try to hit that next ball, and she's going to let me know, hey, yeah, I was a little bit off balance, or you know what, I was in total control, I was able to step in. And you can actually turn this into a game, right? So she would serve, I would hit a return. If she's able to hit that next ball, her first shot after the serve, if she's able to hit that ball with good control and either win the point or put me at such a disadvantage that she's really going to have an easy next shot, she would get a point. If, however, she hits the serve, I hit the return, and she's completely off balance, and I get to move in for the next ball, and she ends up maybe missing that shot or hits it too weak or whatever, that's going to give me the point. Okay, so that's really it. Just she's going to serve, I'm going to return, and we're going to kind of talk about whether or not she was offensive, defensive, or neutral. And my goal is to put her into a defensive position, just something that she's a little bit off balance and maybe gives me an advantage on my next shot. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Check out the drill, send me your comments and questions, and at this point, hopefully you're ready to get out there and start playing matches. As always, I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll see you next time.
All right, you guys, so this last little piece, Emily's going to hit the serve, I'm going to hit the return, and if she can't get a ball by me, or she misses her shot or whatever, that means that I've been effective with my return in keeping her off balance. This is somewhat subjective, so kind of be cool about this, right? So if I hit a return and she comes up with some lucky shot, she'll still tell me, hey, I was off balance, I was out of position. Okay, so like on that return, I pushed her off balance. I had a good solid return. It was actually a lot closer to the line than I wanted it to be, but I wasn't aiming for that. I was aiming a good 6 feet inside the line, just happened to miss it, and because I had that margin for error, it still stayed in. But I would get the point on that since she couldn't play her next shot. Okay, you guys, so that last one, Emily was able to attack and hit a good shot off of her second ball, so she would get the point in that drill. I did not hit a good enough return to keep her neutral and or, I guess it wouldn't be and or, neutral or defensive.